Yes, good morning, everybody. Sunday Delaja here. Wow. Wow, what a week we had. What a roller coaster week we had. Huh? I'm sure you are feeling it if you are following us every day. I'm sure you are you are having your own experience about how busy we have been. But that's nothing compared to being here. Oluwatoyin Bidemi, nice to see you. Shegun Fatima, Rochelle White, Eric Osadolo, Onkiru Ojimadu, Dorothy Tyler, Miranda Guafu. Welcome, everyone. Goya Sharis, nice to see you all. Good morning. Mayowa, long time. Gladys Mshang. Ayodeji Bello. Welcome. Shiwa Nanaba is here. Patrick Christian, welcome back. Well, I need you people to begin to go and share the link right now. Go and begin to share the link. So, Davida Akale, you are back. Yeah, she was here with us. She's back in England. That's her base. Oh, how boring it will be for you people to be back home these days. I'm sure your schedule will not be as intense as it was here. It should be boring not to be as busy as you were here with us. So, yes, so let's go look under your video and you'll see the video link. The share link. Let's go share that button. Let's go share this video. Yep, let's go share the video. Oh, wow. Davida said since she came back, she's been going through all the materials, the videos of the history makers. Wow, that's great. That means you are following the script. All right, we're continuing to talk this week on the differences between men and women, difference between men and women. So today's message is why we should know our differences, why both men and women must know their differences, why we should know our differences, the difference between men and women. Now, I've spoken about many different differences that we had. But yesterday was the most rupturous. It erupted because I think women were not very happy by the discovery that men were sowers of seeds. That's the way God created them. They are more sexually active, they are more aggressive, and the reason why they are aggressive is because, just for our race, for human race to continue, God made them that way. So somebody was saying, oh, that is so bad, that's so horrible, everything they are thinking about is only about sex. I cannot sit down with him for a considerable time without, not the husband, but any man who speaks it about, we begin to talk about that topic. Why is it that is what is in their head? Well, the problem is Jesus gave us a parable. He said, and the sower went out to sow. Some on good soil, some on not too good soil. Unfortunately, Some of the men, that's their nature to be sowers, but they are supposed to sow in one ground. But the nature of sower is that sowers know nobody keep to one ground. Sowers go from one ground to the other. But Christian people, Christian men who fear God, they live different. And that's why I think that the women should honor their husbands. If your husband, as a Christian man, is trying his best to keep faithful to the family, you should know that he's paying some price for that. And that his nature actually demands him to be a hunter. But because he's a Christian, he's been able to behave accordingly. So I think the ladies should appreciate that as well. And the fact that they are talking to you all about that, or they want to do that, well, I think if you know who they are and their nature, it will be a little bit easier for you to reason with them, rather than thinking that they have lost their mind. Now, another thing is that somebody is saying, what should I do if I know it goes about other places? And maybe it's an unbeliever or something, but so he has mistresses, or maybe he had some relationships, but he's always coming back home. So the ladies are asking, what should I do with him? This might sound a little bit brutal. For the girls especially, you might not like this. But if that man is coming back home, despite all he's saying outside, and despite all the varieties he's having over there, and he's still coming back home to sleep with you and to come back to his family, my advice to that woman is don't chase him away. If he's still coming back home, it means his family is still his priority. If he's still coming back home, it means he loves that family. Or if he's still not just coming back home, but sleeping with the woman, it means, I'm going to say this, and don't take it personal, okay, you ladies. It means he still loves the lady no matter all the women he's sleeping with there. But because what happens with the man is this. Women think we are the same. And women think that if he's looking even by just looking, if he has looked at another woman, that he has already betrayed her, and that just like hold this like this, so that it will be visible. So we are thinking that these are women, if she feels anything, it goes on everywhere. So if a woman will start a relationship with anybody, it affects her totally. She cannot just have relationship only in her body and then keep her mind and her emotions out of it. But for the man, that is the wonder of the man. For the man can, let's say this is the body of the man. The man can have sex with a woman in this body, and you woman, you might not believe this, but he might not be in love with her in his heart. He might not even bring her to his heart at all. He might not even be emotionally attached to her, and he would not even be thinking about her at all. So, but his wife, the reason he comes back to his wife is that because for a man to put his heart in another woman or any woman at all, and his emotion and everything, he needs to give permission. You see that little tiny time? That is his permission. He needs to allow it to happen. So what happens is that if a man had an affair or a relationship with another woman here in the body, and he still comes back home, it means he's united with his family. His family, and I'm going to say something very horrible to the eye of the woman, right? Very horrible. Very horrible. And women are always saying, why should you be saying that? If you are saying that, it means you believe that. No, I'm just telling you what. You might not know it. It will be worse if you don't know it. But if you know it, I think you should be able to now think of how to work about it, how to go about it. For the man who has an affair By the way, we know that Christians shouldn't have affairs, and Christians shouldn't have any outward relationship. But things happen in life. This is just real life, all right? So let's say a man is having a relationship here in the body or had a relationship with another woman, and the woman, the wife, is going a while. Okay, you will not come back to this house and all that thing, and he is coming back to ask for forgiveness and saying, "Oh, please, I want to come back," and you are saying, "No, no, no." You know what? That is exactly what the Bible says, that a wise woman builds her own house, or a wise woman, a foolish woman tears her own house down. If he's coming to apologize, if he's coming back to the house to reconcile, a wise woman should understand these laws and this principle, that if he's coming back, it means his heart is here. This heart is here. This emotion is here. This mind is here. Okay, what about some people say, what about if it keeps on going? If it keeps on going, the most important thing you should be concerned about is that it doesn't bring disease to you. So make sure that you protect yourself as a woman. But if he keeps on coming back and he doesn't fear God, he doesn't fear man, he keeps on coming back, but he's still in his family, don't be the one to chase him away. Make sure that he has a home to come back to. Because if he keeps on coming back to you, it means that his heart is still in the house. Now, for a man to fall in love, can he fall in love? Can he go to the other woman totally? Yes, he can go to the other woman totally. If he allows what he's feeling here in his body, it gives himself permission to go to his heart, his emotions, and his mind. Then he falls in love. When a man falls in love, he allows himself to fall in love totally, he will not even remember you again. That is when he leaves the home. He doesn't even remember the wife, the children. He doesn't care anymore. He is gone. He's fallen in love. If a man allows that to happen, of course, it means he's much more irresponsible. But women think that if he wants to go, let him go. If he likes another woman, let him rather go than be going and coming back. But in the real sense, the one that is going and coming back is more responsible. Now, this looks odd to the woman, all right? To the woman mind. It looks like impossible. But the one that is going and coming back, it means he's not allowing his inside himself to fall in love. He's not allowing feelings that he's feeling in the body to come to his heart, his feelings, and his mind. So he is fighting. He's winning the battle in his mind, in his heart, not to allow these feelings to take over him. But the one that allows it to take over him immediately, it means he doesn't have break. He doesn't have caution. He doesn't have any honor for that woman. For that family. He doesn't have any respect. He's not considering anything. He just letting himself go. That is much more worse. Now, why is that? How can you people try to understand that? Just for the sake of illustration, let me try to explain to you women. What is happening in his body, the fact that he is having sex somewhere or with you or with another person, to a man, sex doesn't mean so much as it means to the woman. Sex for him is, first of all, I'm sorry for it. Now, this is very offensive to the ladies, but I'm just going to say it as a teacher. So I'm removing myself from this. I'm just saying it as a teacher, just for you to know, all right? So sex to him that is happening in his body here is just like you feel the need to go to the toilet. No, the short one. When you need to release yourself fast. Just like you feel the pressure on yourself to go to the restroom, to go to the toilet fast. That is what a man exactly feels. That's exactly what he feels. So he needs to release himself. So even though a man might not be sexually involved with another man, but there are instances whereby a man still needs to release himself. So men, that is why they said 98% of the men have masturbated one time or the other. That because that thing still needs to come out. The sperm bank is still filling up. Christian, no Christian, no pastor, no pastor. If the thing is filling up, he has to get it out. Even if he doesn't want to get it out, sometimes when he's sleeping, the thing will come out. By force. But it's better when a man has not been active sexually, for example. Let's say when I was single for 8 years, I had less trouble. I had it in my mind, but less trouble in my body because I was using it. I was used to using it somewhere else. But when you are already actively involved sexually, that thing is working more intensely, and so it's a horrible thing I'm saying. I know. Ty say, "Excuse me, I want to go to the toilet." Shineke, that is all side chico. Yeah, because you are seeing chic, but the man is not seeing any chic. The man is just saying that his need is coming out. That's all. Like the sower is sowing a seed. He just released the pressure. So for man, sex is more a way of releasing pressure. Sex is not always a way of saying, I love the woman. Now, women, if you are going to be sincere with yourself, let's face it, women, do you want, you that are married, either Christian, you are married to Christian, or you are married to, it doesn't matter who. Do you want to tell me, let me just tell you this, and you will understand what I mean. Do you want to tell me that your husband, that every single time he had ever made love to you, he was really telling you, I love you, and he was really expressing feelings to you, or he was really expressing to you that you are the only one in my life, that there will be no one like you, that I'm giving you covering, and every single time? No, of course. In fact, if not all of the time, but most of the time, he first of all wants to get himself released. He's not even thinking too much about you at that time. That is what happens when he does it with somebody else. And the only problem with the man is that he doesn't have to love to release. He's only releasing because he has pressure. But for the woman, it's abnormal for her to have sex if she doesn't have feeling. It's abnormal for her to have sex if she doesn't love. It's abnormal for her not to have a feeling to go and make love. But for the men, it doesn't even connect. You see, they are different. They are separate here. They are separate. You see, the yellow is love, or the body, or sex. This is the heart. Everything is separate. Okay, Daniel is saying the reason why most of our ladies are saying this is horrible is because they are living in the West. Again, because by His grace, we are believers. If we were to be in an Islamic country, women have no say at all. So we must thank God that we are Christians for His grace. So what I'm saying, okay, for example, somebody was saying that, Pastor, when you are saying it, now you are giving everybody permission. What do you mean? I said, what do you mean permission? I'm not giving anybody permission. I'm just letting you know the nature of men. They say, but now they will say, oh, Pastor Sunday himself has said it. He has allowed it. I said, what do you mean allow it? Sin is sin. Sin is still sin. I'm not allowing it. This thing I'm saying, it is to you, ladies, is a revolution, is a revelation. But man, every man knows his own nature. He can tell you any story or he can sing any song to you, but he knows that this what I'm saying is true. That's why the other time when I spoke about it yesterday, they were all thanking me because they didn't know how to say it to you. Even though they are not saying it to you, that doesn't mean that they don't know that it exists in them. It's in their body. I'm not opening, they might not know how to explain it. In fact, it is good that I'm even saying it so that they will even know what is happening to them. Many of them might be thinking that they are the only ones that are like that. And that they are, that something is wrong with them. But when they know now that it is something that happens to all men, and they now begin to fight without condemning themselves, they begin to, ask for grace to be able to battle it out without damaging themselves, without going to call their organs and do all those kind of things. So, and the woman, you are supposed to know it, just for you to know how they function and why your wife is like the way your wife is. I mean, your husband is, so that you know your husband is the way he is because of because of the way he's built differently. Not because he's wicked to you, not because he's not responsible or something. You know, he just needs to, you just need to help him. So I'm saying that, you should value your husband. And your husband, for even being faithful, is paying some price. Okay, Daniel says, if your husband is a believer, thank God for him. Because men are tempted more than 1,000 times daily. Especially if you are working in a corporate world. Yes, he's right. So this Daniel is trying to tell you the truth. And that is the truth. Mabel is saying, so if he's still coming home, I shouldn't chase him away. Well, you can chase him away if you cannot cope with it. But if you love your husband, try to help him. And, Bible says love covers multitudes of sins. So try to see how you could help him, rather than chase him away. A lot of families, if they have chased their fathers away, a lot of, maybe 80% of families won't have been together now. Daniel is saying, remember, a man at any time of his life can marry a woman, any woman of his choice, as many women of his choice, but it is not so for a woman. I don't want to use that as an argument. We don't have an excuse. Men don't have an excuse. Yeah, he's right. Every responsible man will love and honor his wife. Yes. That is the standard of the Bible. And that's what makes you to be a man, to be strong, to be faithful to one woman. And that's why you need the grace of God. That's why a man needs God's grace to do that. And that's why we must depend more on God to help us. Without God, no man can do that. He can understand in his mind, but you don't always have power over your own body. Your body, emotion is stronger than the will. Just what even you women should know that. Once your emotion is on the way, even though you understand something in your mind, emotion is stronger than the will. For the men too. But for the men, when it could be aroused 1,000 times a day, like that guy said, is right. But for the woman, she has to be unraveled. You've got to go inside that to open her up. She doesn't just get aroused just by seeing a man passing by. She doesn't just get aroused just by looking at a naked picture of a man. It could happen, but not normal. She has to be opened up. Her emotion, she has to be opened up to love, to protection. Some nice gesture has to come her way before she could be aroused. But for the men, he doesn't need any gesture at all, anything to arouse him. So you should know that. Do you know that a man can just be passing by, a woman can just be passing by, and he didn't even see their face at all. From the spine, he could just fall in love. Get aroused. Not fall in love, sorry. It's not the same. Not fall in love, but aroused. So some people are saying, the woman should dress. It doesn't matter how she should dress. A man can even see a woman that is dressed in black, what do you call it? The black burqa, or whatever you call it. So that burqa, he could see that burqa and get aroused. That is the nature of men. It's unbelievable. Not all the time, but it could happen. That's what I'm saying. So Shioma is saying, Pastor, that man that is sleeping around should be shanked before he sleeps with the woman, because some women have contracted incurable sicknesses that way. Yes, I understand and I agree. Actually, I personally think that a woman that respects herself and that values herself more than family, so if you are talking about family values, if you want to keep family by all means, that is when you should still keep on sleeping with that man. But I personally think if he's sleeping around and you value yourself as a child of God, as a daughter of God, that you shouldn't allow him to sleep with you again. I personally think like that. But I'm just explaining, everything I've said today is not my own personal opinion. It's just the nature. I'm just explaining to you what the nature of men is. But if I were to advise, if you know that your husband is sleeping around, it will be foolishness for you to keep on sleeping with him. But if you want to sleep with, if you want to Keep him. You can keep receiving him in the house. Let him keep coming back. Let him be in the house, but don't sleep with him. Or if you want to sleep with him, then use, preservatives or something. Protect yourself. But if you are a daughter of God and you respect yourself, you don't need to keep on sleeping with him if he's sleeping around with other people. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't allow him to come to the house to at least to see his children, to keep the family together or something. TY is saying, Dr. Adelaja, it is very hard indeed, and it kills women's heart. And you shouldn't force yourself to receive him back. If you feel, even what I said now, that you should receive him back in the house, you shouldn't have to do it. You don't have to do it if you don't feel good about it. If you don't feel, you cannot reconcile it in your heart. If you cannot reconcile it, if you feel that, no, I cannot, then chase him away. The Bible says that on the basis of adultery, we could divorce. I mean, that is the basis on which we could divorce. So would the woman have the full right to divorce? If he has committed adultery or he's committing adultery, you have the right to kick him out. You have the right to chase him out. But I'm just letting you know why he's doing that. And I'm just explaining to you that the fact that he has slept with somebody doesn't mean that he stopped loving you or he stopped loving his family. And the fact that anything happened to him, either by intention or by non-intention, doesn't mean that he's a bad person. It just means that he's a bad person in the sense that he couldn't control that urge, or he released himself in a woman when he's supposed to do something else, come up with an alternative. But I'm just telling you that doesn't mean, just for you to know, not what he is thinking, but what his body, how his body is built like. But you don't have to receive them. You don't have to receive them. Daniel is saying, Pastor, I don't accept that a man who kept cheating on his wife should keep on coming back to his wife. This is irresponsible irresponsibility of his highest order. Yes, of course. It's not just irresponsibility, it's sin. It's sin of the highest order. But I'm just opening the door for the woman to know what is happening to him, and the fact that if he keeps on coming back, he has not fallen in love with those other women or that other man. Because if he has fallen in love, he doesn't come back. He doesn't even remember his own address again. He doesn't even want to see the woman again. He doesn't want to touch her again. He doesn't even want to have anything to do with her. Just for you to know the difference. I'm just trying to let people know the difference. So it is now the woman's choice and the woman's position to take decision, either to let him come back or to not to let him come back. But she must know what is happening. But right now, the way women think is that if he has done something outside or he has slept with another person, it means he has betrayed me, in the sense that he has fallen in love with another person. That is how women are thinking. Women are thinking that if he has slept with another man out there, it means that his heart and his life, a woman is thinking, if he has done, how can he have something to do with another woman there and says he doesn't love them? Why then did you do it? How can he have anything to do with another woman and says he loves the family? How? It's not possible. Well, that's why I'm trying to explain to you how a man is built. But that doesn't mean that a woman has to allow him to come back. Olukayode says, these are hard truth, bitter lessons, and tough lessons. TY is saying, Dr. Delaja, you will get a lot of attacks on this message. But somebody have to say it all. Someone has to explain what is really happening. Now, like I said, that my position is that, but two positions. My position number one is that a woman should not be in a hurry to just go and divorce. A man also. I feel that a man also should learn to forgive. And that love covers multitude of sin. And even if I've also said it several times, that even if I find my wife with any man, or I don't care any amount of men, It doesn't matter to me because I've given her my word and my commitment. I'm going to love her nevertheless, and I'm not going to chase her away. Anything will happen in life, I don't care. But I am going to keep to my first word and my first commitment, which is I love you and I will keep on loving you to the end. Good or bad, evil or good, I am going to keep my commitment to her. I'm never going to. God keeps in commitment to me. God forgives me. How many times do I sin? In God, since I became a believer, I've been sinning. I mean, every one of us fall, but God still has mercy on us. He said 490 times you should forgive in a day. So he doesn't. It's not even negotiable with him. It doesn't matter what my wife will do. I'm going to forgive her. But I'm just trying to explain to the woman that if a man keeps on coming back home, is not willing to leave her, that she shouldn't be the initiator to chase him away. Especially in European culture here, what happens in our church among white people, I pastor white people mainly, the first thing the woman does is to chase the man away. Even if the man is begging on his knees and he wants to keep coming to the family, wants to stay in the family, he's begging for forgiveness, woman is difficult for her to forgive. So I'm just trying to say, understand him. If he's begging you, if he's coming back, his heart is still interested in that family. That's what I'm trying to say. He's still interested. If he's no more interested, he will not even come back. And believe me, there are a lot of women out there that are ready to receive him. But if he's coming back to you, it means that his heart is not, he has not allowed the thing to go back to go to his heart. He is allowing, it just something happened in his body, but he's keeping his heart in his family. That is what I am trying to say. Should she keep on sleeping with him? No, she shouldn't. If she wants to sleep, she has to protect herself. But what I'm saying is that don't be in a hurry to chase him away from that family. Okay? Gladys is saying, we understand that nature, sir, but the many diseases outside, not easy. Yeah, that's why I'm saying she doesn't have to sleep with him. That's why I'm saying if you want to know my own opinion, I would say the lady shouldn't sleep with him. Sleep with him, but that doesn't mean chase him away too. Try to keep the family together. But for Christians, we shouldn't even be having this topic for Christians. But I still must let you know what is happening and how life is. Dupe God said some come back not because they love the family, but because of what they want from the woman. Yes, if you know that he's coming back not because of the family, but what he wants, then you should be foolish to keep him. Keep him out the first possible opportunity. Just chase him. In fact, with rod, sir. With rod. Kick him, and so that he will not even know where he has fallen after that. So Mary Gold Brooks say, okay, now, son of man, this is not permission for you to go messing up and coming back. If you love her, you should not even be talking about permission. I think most of us are Christians here. So we are not talking about permission at all. So, you think because I'm saying it is permission? Before I said it, he knows himself these things. It is you, women, who are thinking it is permission. You who are hearing this for the first time. He knows his own nature. If he wanted to give himself permission, he would have given himself permission before now. And if he is a Christian and he fears God and he loves God and he loves his family, he will still keep on fighting, but it will be easier for him to fight now because he knows that what is happening to him is just his body and that he must keep his commitment to the family. Mabel is saying, but the wife is there. Why can't he release himself with the wife? Very good question, but it's a tough question. That is the normal thing to do, and that is the dilemma of the man. Now, for example, yes, that is for a woman. I will advise a woman to always make sure that she tries as much as possible to help the man empty the tank. Before as much as possible. Even if I had a woman say, I'm a medical doctor, but I'm an experienced medical doctor and sexologist, or whatever they call it. She's a woman, but she's sexologist. And she said, what I've discovered is that I must help my husband to empty that tank every day before he goes to work. And when he comes from work, I try to ask him if he needs anything. So, women can try to do their best in that sense. But let me tell you the nature of men. Men needs the fear of God, and men need the grace of God. Not the fact that you are emptying the tank every morning or every minute doesn't mean that it would not be attracted to other people. That's just the nature of men. So there is a saying that says, and listen to this, this is not because it's right, this is not because it is correct or this is the way it's supposed to be, but this is just the way it is naturally for the men. Listen closely. A woman needs one man to meet all of her needs, but a man needs all women or many women to meet one need of his. That what he's saying is that a man only has one need. And to meet that one need, any woman or all women or any woman will go. And it doesn't matter, for him, he just needs to meet his need. That's just the way he's built. He just needs to meet that need. And it needs as many people, anybody can meet that need. But for the woman, she just needs one man to meet. But she has not one need. She has many needs that one man should meet. But he has one need that many women could meet. So, but Christianity brings us balance. Christianity brings sanity to the world. Christianity brings sanity to the man's life. So why is it that you cannot just you cannot just do it to the woman, to the wife? Number one, because he cannot carry the wife with him 24 hours. He cannot. Number two, a man, maybe you women don't know this, but let me tell you, this is just the fact. A woman could have sex minimum 3 times a day. Some women could have sex 5 times a day. Not have sex, but could be aroused at least 3, 4, 5 times a day. For the woman, that might not be normal. But for the man, that is normal. So for him to be tempted and aroused, minimum sexual thoughts will come to you as a man 3 times a day. That doesn't mean you have to do it, but it involves many things for you to do it or not to do it. So, and why can't he just do it for the woman? He doesn't know. A man doesn't control when he has sexual thoughts or urges. He's not in charge. He doesn't know when he will get some thoughts or temptation or when things will come to, idea will come to it. He doesn't control it. If he could control it and just put it that, okay, at 9 o'clock in the night when I come back home, let me just fix it for that time. That's the only time for me to take. It would be easier, but it doesn't. Of course, it's easier for men if they are busy. If men is busy, working, especially physical or just busy working, it's easier for him. But especially physical work. Or if a man is doing sports or doing some physical work, it's better for him because he's distracted all the time. But still, that's not the guarantee. The statistic says that a man is having sexual suggestions, an idea, 1 million times a year. It doesn't mean that he does it, but they come against him. His emotion and he messed up. Because that is the way it's created. It's protruding. That's his protruding nature. That is a seed carrier. He's having temptation to plant that seed 1 million times a year. That's like 3 times a day, 3,000 times a day, 3,000 times temptation a day. Olukayode said, Pastor Sunday is bold to say these things. Many will not dare say it, but it is true. But those who really accept it find it easier to deal with these eventualities. You see, it's about boldness. People are just surprised that I'm able to say it. But it's not because men don't know it. Only they have suppressed it and pretended. The fact that people are not talking about it makes everybody hypocrite. Some people even believe that because it's a Christian, he cannot even think like that. Why should he be tempted? Because he's a Christian, he will not be tempted? It's just because Christians try to live double lives. Christians like to live hypocritical life and say they don't have temptation. Oh, they don't. Nothing happens. Everything is okay. They wear suit and just come to church as if nothing is okay. But otherwise, they are messed up. Flair Karim Matthew said, I don't need those kind of men. No. Having sex is a gift for me, not going to the toilet. Yeah, that's why I asked for permission and I asked for forgiveness for saying that for a woman it's crazy, because for a woman, sex, let's look at the photograph again. For a woman, sex is holistic. See the photograph again. Oh my God, I've got to change the title of this message. Because I thought I was just going to mention this and run away. But I see that now I end up continuing the topic we started on sex. You see, for a woman, sex is love, it's everything, it's holistic. Sex is love, is security, is acceptance, is warmth, is protection, is romance. Sex is everything. But for the woman, for the man, sex is totally different. So he could have a release here, like going to the toilet. It doesn't even have anything to do with heart or feelings. So when you know that, you will understand that, for you people as women, it's strange. How can sex be like going to the toilet? But that is why we are different. That is why men are built different. You just have to know. But men with understanding also control themselves. Men with understanding also try to put this in perspective. Men with understanding, just for you to know what they are going through and what they need to go through for them to be faithful men, sincere men. But that doesn't mean that they don't have those temptations. TY is saying, because of this teaching now, I'm telling you, I must love you, cherish you, think the whole world that you are worth the whole world, and trust you before letting you make love to me. Thank God. Now he's getting to the ladies. Now you are getting it. That is why women should not just agree with anybody. Because if you agree with him and you now know that he can go and be with anybody like that, then you will hold yourself. So thank God I'm saying it, because I'm saying this now. See the reaction of the woman. Then I will never allow any man to make love to me before marriage. You see, that is why we are talking about that sex is only a marriage covenant, only for marriage. It's because now you understand that the nature of man. If every woman will say no sex before marriage, we are going to just do it in marriage, then you are helping the men. You are helping the men curb their instinct. You are helping the men reduce their seed planting nature. You are helping them because they will know in their mind that this is only possible in marriage. So every woman should come to the same decision, like TY is saying now. So to make love to allow man to make love to me, not even enough that we love each other. It's not even enough that we have relationship. It's not even enough that he's saying this and that. It must be total confidence. That is why they must give you guarantee, and the guarantee they must give you has to start with the guarantee of marriage. So they must marry you first of all. So if that marriage takes place, that at least gives some assurance. It gives you some protection that, okay, you are legally married. But even when people are legally married, you might still want to be careful and protect yourself. So that's what she's saying. Very good. That before you make love to a man, then you must love him so seriously. Cherish him. Think the word of him before letting him make love to you. Brilliant. If this is the only benefit of this message, it means glory to God. And people should know this. So that's why women should not just allow men to come to them anyhow. David is saying the boundaries are too thin. The boundaries of sex are within the covenant. Every man should have his own wife is the solution. Yes, that is the solution. Daniel is saying that, Daniel Showman, no man in his right mind will go out to cheat intentionally. That is what you should know. Very good, Daniel. Men don't go out looking for who to cheat with. That's what women are thinking, but it's not like that. Men don't just go out looking for, I want to sleep with different women. It's because of the urge that comes on them unexpectedly, uncontrollably. So he's saying, because of the grace of God, we now can control ourselves. Thank you, Pastor, because I'm now relieved because of this message. Yes, you see, men are saying thank you, because at least they know what is happening with them and how to control it, how to fight it. Okay, so Susan Panabi say, men do not care how much they hurt a woman by relieving their needs. Even their wives. She can scream and cry in pain and he still continues because he is so focused on meeting his needs. Yeah. Unfortunately, human beings are like that generally. Unfortunately, because, there are some things we call instinct. Instinct and stimulus. So the needs of the flesh, the need to eat, the need to reproduce, sex, the need for security, all these things are needs of the instinct and stimulus. So unfortunately, mind doesn't play too big a role in it, for the men especially. It's just like saying you are hungry. Even for the woman, if you are hungry, those are instinctive things. You can, very difficult to control when you are hungry. The same thing, some women also have their own instinctive thing that they cannot always control. Sometimes they feel like crying, and they might not always know the reason for crying or hysterical, but that is the reason, the way to release their stress at that particular time. It's instinct. So even though they know they are not supposed to cry now, but they do it anyway because it's an instinct. It's just like saying, they need to go to toilet or to go to toilet, by big or small. It's an instinctive something. So it's not because they are wicked. Susan, I want you to know that men still do it even though their wife is crying. He's not thinking about that the wife is crying or the wife is hurting when he's... It's just like saying a man is going to a woman, you want to go to the toilet and your baby is crying. Let's think that. You want to go to the toilet, you really feel like going to the toilet and your baby is crying. Even though you love your baby and you feel for your baby, you might be able to hold it for some time. But if you really feel like going to the toilet, you will say, baby, please, make it wait a little bit. Let me go to the toilet. Now, that is a very rough and bad example, because if it is as simple as that, you could say, okay, let me just go to the woman and release the thing. But the woman will not be there, or that's why it's much more complex with the man. And there are a lot of factors that might be in play. So just for you to know that, it is not that a man wakes up in the morning and saying, okay, I'm going to cheat on my wife. I hope this will not create too much more mess than good. But Gladys is saying, very good message, sir. We must understand the nature of men as women to have less trouble with ourselves. Yes, because at least you'll be able to process that in yourself. Anastasia said, they don't talk about these things in the church, but spiritualize everything. I think that is a bigger problem. When we just spiritualize everything, you are a Christian, that's all. But I think we should discuss these things. Darlene says, Pastor, thank you anyway for changing our mind. Because you are thinking that we are the same, but we are not. Bidemi says, wisdom looks cheap, but it's very expensive. Thank you, sir. Niyi said, I have heard a friend say women are like public toilet. No. But that's what men say among themselves, unfortunately. But it is horrible. It is a very degrading thing to say. But that is how men just talk among themselves. So you see now that the way I'm saying it in a more civil way, just for you to understand. But among themselves, they are saying women are like public toilet. Not that they are degrading women, no. That's not what is in their mind, though. They are not thinking that women are toilet, but they are thinking that it's a place where they go to. Just like you need to go to toilet to release yourself. That's why they are saying women are like public toilet. So women are just like places they go to release themselves, but not their wives. To them, to men, wives are more serious than a place they go to release themselves. I don't know if you understand. So to them, wife is children, wife is respect, wife is honor, wife is sacrifice, wife is, life together. But sex to them is not all that. Sex to them is just like they said, release yourself and go. It doesn't take anything with it. But wife and family to them is more serious. That's why they keep on coming back to where they respect. But if they feel there is another woman there that they will respect more, they will move out from their wives. That is just the reality we have to face. So, Niyi said, my friends say women are like public toilet. Whenever it feels pressed, it goes into any available space, does its thing and goes away. I find it wicked and felt disgusted. A responsible man should not see women that way. I won't want anyone to treat my sister or daughter like that. Unfortunately, though, I have seen men tell me of all the sex capades with women that give in too cheaply to sexual advances from them. However, women should not allow any man to treat them like public toilet. Very good. That's why the woman must know these things we are talking about. If he's not married to you, if you are not married to her, to him, it means he's approaching you for sex, he's treating you like public toilet. So if you don't want to see yourself as public toilet, I'm not married to you. Why should you approach me for sex? So you should just know, this is to help every woman know that any man that is approaching you for sex, any man that is trying to approach you for sex when you are not married to him is treating you like a public toilet. Shioma say, oh, pastor, this one is too tough. Oh. The men needs to get more disciplined. Oh, yeah. And they need God's will for that discipline. Men that rely only on their strength, they fail. And this is one of the reasons why God allows men nation to be like that, so that they will not rely on themselves. Because men have tendency to rely on themselves, to be proudful, to be boastful, to have ego, to have faith in themselves. And that's why God allows them to fail, so that they will be broken and know that by themselves they can do nothing, and have more faith in God and rely more on God rather than on themselves. Vivian Taylor saying, sin is sin, but you are letting us know some men will do it days. But a Christian man should get that check in his spirit too. But is the nature of man is it to go too far, but forgive him if you love him and want to keep your family, but too many times hit the door jack, and don't you come back, in our opinion. Yes. Formulario says, there is no way you can satisfy a man. They will still go out. Men don't love. How can you love 2 or 3 people together? I don't call that love. They only want a woman in as a comfort. What a life. Well, listen. Men love. Let me start all over again. I'm going to show you this thing all over again. See. Please. Take a look. This is men. And this is how they are built. This is their emotion. This is their heart. This is their feeling and their feeling and their emotions. This is their mind. Now, a man gets, this is his body, right? In his eyes, he gets attracted through his eyes. Men fall in love with what they see. So as soon as he sees a woman, he is attracted automatically. Not all the time, but most of the time. So he is attracted to her, but for him to approach her, he needs to transfer that signal to his mind. So he has to give his mind permission to go and approach her. But that doesn't mean that he has given permission to the body. I mean, to the emotions, or to the feelings, or especially to the heart. Now, at what point does a man get to be in love? So he's sleeping with a woman, but he's not in love. Yes, he could be sleeping with 10 women and not be in love, because he has not given permission to his heart, to his emotions, and to his mind. But when he finds something, he sees something with his eyes that he likes, or he hears something with his ear that he likes from the woman, something is compelling him, then he has to bring it to his mind and find arguments. A man doesn't just fall in love like that. He has to find arguments. She's beautiful, she's smart, she treats me well. You know, he has to find arguments. He has to find points. So he's gathering all the points here in his head. Only after gathering all the points that, yes, I like what I see here, I would rather choose this, then he takes a decision, and that decision gives permission to his feelings to fall in love. And that decision gives permission to his heart to get in love. That's when he takes the decision to marry. And that's why, because he is falling in love. So a man can fall in love, but only he has to take that decision consciously. He's not just falling in love because he slept with somebody. So he can sleep and still not fall in love. Daniel is saying this is a painful truth. Painful truth. Maybe it's painful, but is truth still?
The man doesn't know.
Yeah. Is it still better for you to know it? Or it's better for you not to know it and just be suffering in silence? Olukayode said, this is the reason a woman should be very cautious before opening up for a man. Yes, that's what we're saying. Once you know that they are like that, you should keep yourself. Don't ever agree to sleep with any man, not for any reason, if it's not your husband. Be 100% sure that you are in his mind for good. Yes. When you are sure that your man loves you and cares for you, then do everything possible. That's why your daughters must know this message. The last time somebody wrote, I said, I would never let my daughters hear this message. You will never let them hear it because it's hurtful and it's painful to you. But do you want them to, through their own experience, get to know this? Do you want them to, for life, to teach them this instead of them to know it and be careful and protect themselves? Okay, I will never allow my daughters to hear it. But are there not some people's daughters who are falling into the hands of men left and right just because they don't know? Maybe it's better to let your daughters know now so that they will be protected than not to know and be thinking innocently of men.
Love your daughter, let her know.
Chinwe, Pastor is explaining how men are wired, the natural mind. However, knowing this truth will enable us to make decisions based on our values. It is a statement of awareness. Yes. Flair Karin is saying, if God asks us to be faithful to our partners, that means this is possible for men and women. Yes, no matter our nature. This pastor's explanation is an excuse for anyone. No, it's not an excuse for anyone. It's not an excuse. It's just for men for women to know the nature of men better and to be able to know how to relate to them. Shegun Fatima is saying, if the man is committing adultery and the woman divorces him, can the woman remarry while the man is still alive? If the man is a Christian, if they are both Christians, the Bible said they have to marry each other. If they are both Christians, that they shouldn't divorce, or if they are divorced, they should remain single. Gift Amos say, woman heart is breaking again. Okay, let me talk to the woman I have here. Is your heart breaking for hearing these things?
No.
Let me say, why is woman heart breaking again? Or what's happening to you that I'm talking about this thing?
Hello, everyone. My name is Zinkiro Jimado. Actually, I really appreciate Pastor for sharing this truth, because our men will not tell us. But what he's saying will help you to understand your man if he messes up. Like we were talking with Pastor last night. I said that this really helped me to understand things that are happening. This will even help you to teach the men in your life. It is not giving me heartbreak. Even I have some part of this in my book where I wrote that even if my husband, I find my husband, just like Pastor said in one of the brokers, that even if he finds the wife with men, he has given a word at the beginning that I love you, I'm going to stay with you. And still the same statement I make, that even if I find my husband with 10 women on bed, and he comes back to me and say, baby, I love you, I want to be with you, I will forgive and be with him. Because I know issues of women that because of a cheat or because of some cheat, they left their husband. Today they're regretting it. And these are women in their 60s. They said, if I was wiser. So Pastor is trying to make us understand the psychological build of a man, so that when you see things happening, you will have a reason for that. But as he said, if you think you can't cope with it, it is your choice. Yeah. Let him go. Yeah. If you want to cope with it, you protect yourself so that you don't get sick. Yeah. But for me, it is an advantage. It's a build-up for me. It's an educative. I love this message because I coach women, and this is really what I've been telling them, that, some of them are like, wow, how do you do this? How can you do this? It's not possible, but it's possible. It depends on what you have in a relationship and what you want. Knowing the psychological building of a man will help you to know how to relate when things happen. So I really thank God, and thank Pastor for this message.
Pastor, you are a man. What will you say to all these things I'm saying? Because people are saying I shouldn't say it, their daughter shouldn't know, or shouldn't be said, or whatever. Maybe it's better to just be silent about these things, or somebody still has to say it. Or it's better for people to not fall into the same ditch.
Thank you very much. My name is Pastor Lemin Ayodele from London. Sincerely, this is a very good message, and I think Pastor is not really speaking for men. He's telling us the truth. And I don't want the woman to crucify him. It's not discouraging or encouraging. It's just saying it the way it is. So I remember in our previous messages, it was as if some men, they were not in agreement. Either you are in agreement or not, he is saying the truth. So and I just want all our women, all our mothers, sisters, daughters, let's take it as a good lesson, as a preventive measure, so that evil, or we will not be thinking of evil most of the time. So with this, the brother or the sister who says is not going to allow a daughter, if you really love your daughter, let your daughter be part of all this, so that in future she will be able to know the truth. The Bible says, if you know the truth, this truth will set you free. So today, I don't believe Pastor is talking in favor of men. It's just telling us how everything goes. It tells you, men, this is how we are, and women, this is how they are, so that we will be able to live in agreement, in harmony, and to honor one another. I think that is just all I have. Pastor, thank you very much for this. It's great exposition. Bless you, sir.
Okay. This is another man here in the house.
Hello there. My name is Dr. Ladi Sharonke. Well, I'm listening to Pastor Sunday, and I know as a young man, that was exactly how I felt.
Wow.
About women. But when I got born again and God began to deal with me, I knew that if I'm going to marry, I'm going to be committed.
Yeah.
And what I tell most women out there that seem to like me because I'm successful and things, tell them I didn't have to marry. I made a commitment. It doesn't matter how beautiful. I mean, there is no shortage of beautiful women out there. My deceased brother, who many years ago, actually helped me out a lot. He said, Aburo, the anatomy is the same. It's the face that we have sex with. I want to talk to the women out there that are just useless in themselves. You know a man is married. Because you want what he has, you allow him to start treating you like a toilet. What Pastor is saying is true. I'm a man. If you useless yourself and you allow yourself to be a toilet, when the urge comes, the man will use you as a toilet and move on. But you won't get what you want. That love, caring, and this is going to shift it back.
He doesn't even know how to give it. He doesn't even know that's what you want in the first place. He's thinking you want the same like him.
Absolutely. So whether you are so churches or righteous or whatever you call yourself, man is man. That's the nature that we are made of. We get in contact with women. If you don't control the urge, we'll be jumping in bed from one person to the other. And that is why two things I've learned in my life is to control my libido and to control how I spend. Thank you, Pastor.
Thank you. We have another lady in the house to say something.
Yes, my name is Lola Sharonke from California. Actually, I am so happy that this information has come out in the open. I've never heard this before. I was discussing with my husband when we were listening to the last presentation that, wow, this is the kind of message that should be taught from the church.
So you believe it should be spoken about?
It should be spoken about, yes. Especially for those who are preparing to be married. They don't understand what it entails. And surprisingly, the younger you are, the earlier you hear the truth, the better you make a good decision. When you get married, you know on what basis as a woman, even before you get married and you're being chased by 10 guys and they're bringing flowers, chocolates, and all of this. You know what the bottom line is. And so it helps you build character, value in your life, because you're going to actually
because they are thinking of just one thing.
But if
and you are thinking they love you.
Yeah. And if you know it early enough, you will actually create a good impression of who a woman is to these guys if you don't fall for all of that. So in essence, you're actually helping the guys to understand that, not every woman can just be taken like that. So I'm happy this comes out in the open. Another thing that I noticed was that as the teaching was going on, I was actually, I know the way my sisters, ladies will think to a certain degree, and I understand how women feel about this. I really do. But I was actually checking out the men's comments. And as I checked out each one of these men, none of these men actually denied these comments. The pastors, they're not denying it. In fact, some of them are silently owning it, and some of them are voicing that and saying yes. So Pastor Sunday has done us a great favor by bringing them out in the open. Let's bring it out. We are children of God. And then let's sort it out. Let's sort it out. So my thing is like, okay, this man cheated on his wife. The wife doesn't want him home anymore because, of course, we know the reason why. Because it just goes through the entire being of the woman. Mm-hmm. But now if she doesn't want her husband in the house, where does the church step in? Yes. Can she pick up the phone and call church and say, hey, you know what? I just threw my husband out. Is there any brother or any family that can take him in for the night? Yes. He's standing outside the door. Come and get him. Yes. The church has to be involved with the results of these issues. People have to feel confident enough to go to the body of Christ and go and receive help. So my question is, where does the church play a role after it has happened? Or the wife says, I don't want to sleep with my husband because I don't know what kind of disease he has got. How does the church come in to resolve this issue? If we really want the man back in the house, what does the church do to help that situation? So that's why I'm happy it's out in the open. It's for us to sort it out. It's for us to discuss about it. And it's for us to get this message to the young people. And I'm telling you, if the young people heard this message early, they'll now believe that the church is not a hypocrite. That the church is real with the situations that we face as human beings. And we have the solution. But we've got to know the issues to be able to sort it out.
You have a young daughter. Would you like your daughter to hear this?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Some people are thinking that this is too horrible for their daughters to hear.
But what's on television these days is too horrible for even me to want to sit down and look at it. But they sit down and look at it and they make a decision on what they see. This is mild to what our kids might be seeing, or many young people might be seeing in this world. This actually will be more beneficial because here they hear the situation and now they find out that there are solutions to this situation and that they don't have to hide what they are thinking in their mind, or they can now sort out what they are thinking in their mind is not true. And this is the way to be able to overcome. So I think it should be given out there.
You cannot control what they are watching.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Which is worse than this solution. Right?
They can handle this. This they can handle better. In fact, they would be very happy that we dare to talk about it. Because they can't. Because they're afraid of religious condemnation. But now that we bring it out into the open, it's like we're freeing them and we're giving them counsel that they've always needed.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, again, and my advice to our women there is, especially when you are married, when a man comes to you telling you, oh, he loves you, he can do this, he can do that. The loves that he mentioned doesn't really mean the love that you have. So this is just for you to know that, like we've been told, the word which you would like to hear. That's why they will come to you and say, oh, we love you. So the love is different from your own perspective of love. So please, all our women, think twice before allowing any man into your life. Just think twice. And again, too, let's educate our children. Let's educate our daughters. Because if you fail to do it at home, the people out there will mislead her. So they will tell her what you don't want her to hear, and she will run with it. So please, let's be there for our daughters, let's be there for our sisters, and everything will work well for us. Thank you very much again.
Yeah, it's me again. Hello. Well, I just want to have an insight to some of the women that are out there. There are some women that I think they are very powerful. They have money, they control, so they can control man with it. So they think that the woman at home is just a housewife. So I'm better because I have more cash in my pocket. You are deceiving yourself. Even if you force the man to leave his house, to leave his first love, to come to you, there's a saying in my language that the stick that you used to beat the first wife is still waiting. You think you are the only last person he's going to cheat with? Stop kidding yourself. He's going to find another person when you are old and saggy, and he's going to move on to somebody else. So don't go and wreck somebody's home. Stop treating yourself like a toilet. Have some self-respect. If a married man comes to you, trust me, and you are giving him sex, it's not because of sex. It's just treating you like a toilet. Wake up. Learn what Pastor is saying here today, that's just the way men are wired. We don't think about consequences. That if I sleep with this lady now, the whole heaven is going to fall. We don't think about that. We just think about, let me relieve myself so I can carry on. And some of you out there that are looking at men as your solution, go and listen to Pastor's blog again. You have to add value to yourself first. Know who you are, and then you will not be treating yourself like a little latrine that somebody can just come in and just dump things on you. You might be intertwined with that person, but you don't know. You think, yeah, I'm just giving him sex. The wife at home cannot give him sex, so I'm doing it better. Don't kid yourself. Man doesn't really really think like that. So what I want to say, Pastor, is that people need to, especially I want to appeal to the women. If you don't encourage us, guess what? That libido will die very fast. But if you keep treating yourself like a toilet, then there are men out there that are not very strong, that are going to keep falling into these things. And about not telling your daughter, my daughter knows already that. In fact, she jokes around. She says, everywhere I go, I take my wife. There's a reason why I did that. Because I know there is no shortage of beautiful women out there. So I make sure that when I'm traveling, and that's another thing I wanted to say to men. If you really want your wife to really have sex with you, fall in love with you, do what I do sometimes. It might be expensive, but it's worth it. Sometimes I will take some time off, maybe 2-3 months, and I will not be with my wife. But right after that, I will book a hotel in Nevada, and we're just going to go spend the weekend. Just loving on her. You don't even have to have sex, but bringing that relationship back so that she will know that, now that my husband is gone, he's back. So things like that. It doesn't have to be, we think that we have to always make love in our bedroom. In fact, the greatest sex I have is usually in a hotel somewhere. Because then she's not washing dishes, she's not doing anything, just me loving her. So I really want to thank you, Pastor, for bringing this even to a Christian platform forum. Because we are so righteous, and then at the end of the day, we found out that the divorce rate is 50%. You can't say that it's only unbelievers that are divorced, even Christians. People who are ushers and deacons in churches too are getting the, even pastors, because they don't know these things. So thank you personally for bringing this platform and letting us be able to share. And God bless you for it.
Well, the common question here is, if he's doing it several times, what should a woman do? If he keeps on coming back to the house and he wants to keep the family, the woman should stop sleeping with him, first of all. Make sure that you are not having sex with him so that it doesn't, bring disease to you. But if he wants to keep the family, take him and say, okay, you're having this problem. Let's go and meet the pastor. Let's go and talk to the pastor. Or if not the pastor, let's go and talk to the family. Sit down and talk about it. But if you feel as a woman that you are hurting so bad and that you cannot keep on, you cannot keep it, it's too bad for you, just tell him the truth and tell him that I'm too painful now. It's too painful for me. This is too much for me. Please, let me go. Just let me go. I will release you, because if there is, I think the most important reason why I'm saying this is even for the woman not to have bitterness. Not to be bitter, for the woman to be able to release and be able to live in peace with herself after that. Because I know too many women that are living in bitterness and anger, because, he has done something. And then they get cancer, they get sick, they get lumps, growth, and all kind of damages come to them because they cannot forgive. But when you know the nature of the man, it's easier for you to forgive. And at least it's easier for you not to kill yourself. Now, as another person is asking here, what about if we are just talking about men cheating? Is it only men cheating? What about if it's the woman cheating and sleeping around? It's a different situation when women are sleeping around. I think if men are sleeping around, it's even more understandable than when women are sleeping around. But the way I will say it is this: if it is the woman that is sleeping around, the man is to blame. That's my own opinion. If a woman is sleeping around, it is because the blame of for me, the blame of the man is more when the wife is sleeping around than when he's sleeping around. If a man is sleeping around, at least we know that it's because of his nature, he falls in love with what he sees or something like that. But if a woman is sleeping around, it means that some other men have been able, it means she's having so much need. It means she's having so much desperation. It means she's been deprived so much and she has lost it. That's one. Number two, if a woman and your wife, a married woman, is sleeping around, it could also mean that she's been so thirsty of attention. She might be having sex, but she's not having love in her family. So what she's looking for in relationship while she's sleeping around, that she's looking for love. But she doesn't know that men don't give love, men give sex. Only husbands or fathers give love. So a woman that is sleeping around, she's deceived. She's thinking that by sleeping around, she will get attention, she will get love, she will get care. She's hoping to get what she's deficient of, or what she's missing, or what she doesn't have. So for a woman to go and sleep around, it means that she has really been thirsty and hungry for some real care and love. And for her to get that, she's going to look around. Okay, so another person said, what about if the man is okay, I've already answered that. The woman, Pastor Chris Ogedengbe is saying, if he cheated with you, or cheated on his wife, then he will do it to you also. So women keep off another man's husband. Look, a man is not looking at emptying his bank or emptying his sleeping around as cheating. He's not calling it cheating. We are the ones calling it cheating. The wife calling it cheating. He's just releasing himself. Let me tell you, women should know this, that they are only supposed to sleep with their legal husband, with their official husband. You don't need to sleep with any man who is not your husband, because the man you are sleeping with is not going to give you what you are looking for. If you want to get attention from the man, that doesn't include sleeping. Don't give him sleeping. Let him give you attention or anything, but don't sleep with him, because sleeping with him doesn't give you the attention. Sleeping with him, for him, is not love. If he sleeps with you, he's telling you all the things. He's sleeping, he's just releasing himself. He's just getting rid of his own problem. He's not loving you. It doesn't have anything to do with love at all. He's just relieving his dealings. So to think that he will not cheat on you, he will not leave you to sleep with another woman. Of course he will sleep with another woman also. If you have allowed him to sleep with you, he's going to sleep with other women too, as long as he has the need to release. So if a woman is having some dreams or some illusion that, he will come to me, he will leave his wife and come to me and be sleeping with me alone, he will not sleep with you alone. He will sleep with as many women as he can, just for him to release himself. That is the problem with the man. So don't be thinking that he will be faithful to you while he's not faithful to his husband. To his wife. If he's not faithful to his wife alone, one woman, he will not be faithful to even 10 women. Even if you are 10, he will still not be faithful to all you 10. He's just going to keep on. It means he's focused on himself, on releasing his own. Releasing his own urges, and he's going to focus only on himself. Okay, Shegun said, I think one of the things that makes some men play around is because that is what they were doing before they got married. Please, young men on this platform and those who will watch this later, please don't have sex before marriage. That will help you. That is very good. Yes, that is so good. Okay, Jomani Doris said, "This is real born again Christ. These are real born again Christians, sir. Men just have to get the fear of God in their system. Because this topic is the most irritating experience for decent women in marriage. But if they just need to get the fear of God, otherwise they will not be talking about this thing. What do you think? Is it about question of getting the fear of God or the word of God in them?
That person is not getting it. He didn't get everything you've been saying. If you think by being churches or by just being holy and speaking
Reading
in
the
tongues,
Bible, a man cannot have sexual orgies.
You are lying to yourself. Men are not men are men.
It doesn't matter.
The religious thing is so far behind us. You have to wake up. You see, I've seen divorces happen because of this thinking. You just think you can just pray your husband to be righteous and not look at any other woman. Oh, sister, please, 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 don't go there.
No, they're saying he's not holy. He's not having the word of God in him.
Yeah.
Like if he has the word of God, we will not even think about that.
Yeah. Why do pastors still divorce their wives? You want to tell me that they don't have? And some of them are mega pastors that are leaving their wives. You want to tell me that they are not righteous? I mean, why?
Or they don't have the word of God.
Or they don't have the word of God in them. We are trying to tell you that there's a place for you to know what anatomy, physiology, psychology is. Get everything together. God wants you to be smart and know the sign of the times. Don't kid yourself. A man might be righteous, might be holy, might be speaking in tongues. He sees a naked woman, the next moment they're sleeping with him. Don't even kid yourself. Don't even go there. People that knows that by the grace of God, we men can keep ourselves. Just like Joseph did. You train yourself to the point that you don't want to put yourself in a situation where you can commit adultery or fornication. So you're always guarding your heart with the word of God. That is true. But what we are saying here is way more than that, oh my sister. Is the fact that if you just think that, oh, my husband should be holy, you are heading for divorce.
Look, she's answering and saying, but we are created in the image of God. If we are truly Christian men and women, we should be able to live above the immoral temptation.
That's not true either. let me help you. Me and my wife, we talk about these things a lot. You see, before we got married, we did a premarital counseling. And the question was, have I slept with a woman? And I said yes. But my wife was a virgin. She doesn't know what it means to satisfy a man. Oh, the counselor said, you guys don't have problem. Because this guy is going to be comparing you with all the women that he has slept with. And that was exactly what we found in our marriage. Because I thought my wife just wasn't responsive. But guess what? Even though I'm created in the image of God, my wife made me understand that she's also created in the image of God. I need to understand what she needs, what her needs are, and what my needs are. For me to get my needs, I have to give her her needs. Be wise. Don't just take literally what the Bible says. Both of us are created in the image of God. A woman still also needs love. But the way they understand love is not sex. My wife made me understand that listen, I will give you sex. I will let you open your tank. But give me love. Give me courage. Don't just come home at night when I've worked myself to death and expect me to just jump in bed with you. It goes throughout the day. When I'm calling at lunch, how you doing, honey? How's things going? How are the children? When I get home, do you need help? Can I help you wash the dishes? I prepare her for that event. That is what God is saying when he says it's the nature of us men to love our wives. He did not ask the wife to love us, but they will respond to that love. It is all entangled. You have to prepare your wife. That's what God is saying in there. It's not just saying that by saying it, can slap you on the forehead and you're going to get it. Love is an action word. You got to keep loving your wife and letting her know it. Some people think that by just
what
saying...
about the Holy Spirit? Holy Spirit can help the men not to have just sexual desires.
Really? I think people get mind, emotions, and things confused with it. You see, when we get born again, the Holy Spirit comes to live in us and direct our actions. That is why we have the self-control. Holy Spirit will help us with the self-control. But guess what? I might just finish speaking in tongues. If my my wife is in front of me naked and I feel the urge, you find me start rubbing her all over. It's just the nature of men. Stop kidding yourself. You see, the Holy Spirit is going to help me anytime there's a temptation. He's going to speak to me and say, this is sin. And immediately I will act on that. That's what the Holy Spirit does. But it doesn't mean I don't have the urge. But guess what? The Holy Spirit might say his own, but he doesn't control our will. Our will is still ours. God doesn't control it. So the Holy Spirit comes and gives you a little warning. Hey, don't do it. But you will still have our will to do it. So, sister, let me help you out. All the things that you are saying is true, but you need to go deep into your theology and understand what we are saying here. The fact that, oh, my husband understands that I'm busy, I'm saying it, we don't understand. Whenever it's time to empty the tank, we're just ready. But what I'm also telling the man is that don't just think your wife is a tank. Prepare the way. Give her some break. Pastor Sunday said in his own house, he has many people working. If you can afford it, hire some people to help your wife so that she's not stressed and then you want sex. You know, you can empty your tank where she really didn't love you. She didn't love you when you are going through it. And that's what they call rape in the Western world. So get your theology right, put it in the right perspective. The Holy Spirit is there to warn us as men. It doesn't mean we have to listen to him. And a lot of men don't listen to him. They just say, oh, this is a free woman. Let me just have him and keep going. What she doesn't know won't hurt her. But it's true. We pray that by the grace of God, that we don't fall into these temptations. But they're out there. You get bombarded everywhere you go. You see women with curls, with tight jeans and everything. It's just there. It's the Holy Spirit that helps us so we don't jump in bed with everybody. But guess what? There are sometimes that people just can't help it. Thank you, Pastor, for bringing this to the world.
So how can a born-again Christian still be having that kind of, if they are Christians? They are saying, but we are talking to Christians, why should we be talking about this? We should be talking about this if they are men are Christian, born again.
Yes, I know it is easier said than done. We can say, because you are a Christian or because you are born again. What I want us to know is that before becoming born again or a Christian, that person has been a man. And that man nature will still be there. And no matter your title, a man is a man. It's the Spirit of God that helps. The Bible says, he who think that he stands, take heed, lest he falls. So it's very easy for a man to fall. But it is by the grace of God that we are standing. So without the grace of God, that's why you keep on hearing, oh, Pastor A did this, Pastor B did that. But it's because as at that moment, the flesh overrules. But whenever if we allow Holy Spirit to have a check, or if you have a check that Holy Spirit is with you, it is by his grace. Anybody can fall anytime.
Yes.
That's why when we talk of the urge or the release, when it comes, it comes. No matter your title, no man will tell you that he doesn't have that feeling. We are only deceiving ourselves. Every man, we have it, the feeling.
Okay, but somebody is saying there are 3 levels of men. The carnal man, the natural man, and the spiritual man.
Yes.
So if you are falling to it, you are either carnal man or natural man. You are not spiritual.
They're all in one.
Yes.
The truth is that you are right. But those 3 men that you mentioned, they are not separated though. It's the same body. They cannot live with the spiritual and everything. But guess what? Sometimes when I'm personally tempted, that's not the time for me to pray. It's time to act. You see, there's a saying in my language that if you don't want bad things to happen, the whole body has to be involved with that thing. So sometimes you see me just quickly excuse myself and leave and leave an area because I'm already having the feeling. The carnal man is beginning to show his
If
face.
you're a spiritual man, you shouldn't feel that.
But when we talk of the carnal man or the looking at it, the spiritual, it happens in every man, or even in everyone. Okay, what of a pastor that is not into sexual this, but he steals church money? What of a pastor, a woman pastor that beats his husband? The carnal sets in at that moment in time. So we have this. It's just all in one, but it depends on how we control ourselves or how we allow it to manifest. But what we want in theory is the spiritual should overshadow the carnal. That is what we are praying for. But every minute, every time, the three keeps on coming. But it depends on how you allow it.
So all of them are living in one body.
Yeah, they are living in one body. So, or is the one you allow to manifest that comes up. I think that's just the way I look at it. So the carnal man, the spiritual man, whatever man, whichever, they're all in one man. It's just if you look at egg, we call it egg, but we have the outer part, we have the white part, we have the yellow part, and still the same egg. So likewise, you and I, we are all Christians, we are all born again, but the three still lies in us. So, but it depends on how you work on yourself. But it is not by power, it is not by might. Just allow Holy Spirit to overwhelm you, to rule you, to direct you. And I know that we will get there. We will get it. Jesus Christ was tempted when he was on earth. But the only thing is that he didn't allow himself he didn't allow temptation to overcome him. So there is no man, no woman that will not be tempted. It comes in various ways, from different angles. So it depends on how you allow it. So spiritual, carnal, whichever, we all carry it. Someone who is a Christian or who is a pastor, but he speaks evil of someone else, that's where carnal sets in. So no one is pure. No one can say, oh, I'm 100% spiritual. But it depends on what you allow to manifest. God will help us in Jesus' name.
Yeah. You have anything to say about that?
I would just say that as we are talking, I'm just saying to myself that God told us that his people perish for lack of knowledge, and a lot of things that we do as Christians and we fall on, it is because we didn't have the knowledge ahead of time, how to navigate these certain situations. Yes. And also because we don't come out and discuss them openly. So I feel at this time that we're receiving knowledge, so we don't have to keep living in darkness. And if we meet a brother or a sister that has fallen, at least we have some knowledge to share with that person about the issue, especially this particular issue. So to me, it's just bringing light to situations that we normally don't want to talk about. Guess what? After today, we are going to definitely be paying attention, discussing as family, husband and wife, girlfriends, young men talking together. This is an issue that we're going to be discussing, and I'm sure you'll be ready for the next presentation where you can now ask your questions that you have about this issue. So that's what I have to say now about this.
Okay. Thank you so much. Bidemi is saying one of the happiest things for me is that I'm learning this now before I get married. So marriage is not about age that I'm ready or not. It's about maturity. Yeah.
You were saying about David.
Okay.
David was a man after God's heart. He still fell.
Yeah, even David, right? David was a man after God's heart. He still had it. Even though he was after God's heart, he still fell to that sin. Wow. Okay. Philip says, I am afraid to say that in as much as I agree with this message about the men, but my observation these days is that women are more promiscuous, more involved in immorality, than it was when I was growing up. The message is for both men and women, not just men and promiscuous, women too. Well, I've told you my own opinion that for a woman to do that, it is because something is not given to her in her own marriage. Or even if she's not married, it's because the father has not been there for her. The father has not given her that protective edge. Immaculate say, thank you, Pastor. I've always valued my body as temple of God. I did not know how to open up with my children to make them to do the same. I'm copying this link and sending. Thank God. That is wise. That is wise. Send it to your children. Let them hear the discussion. Tara is shoes is asking, so the pattern of psychological view of the man will be physical attraction, then mind, then heart, right? Or have I missed something? Yeah, the first thing for a man is physical attraction. Man, first of all, notices what he sees. It's not heart first for the man. It's just physical attraction first. And then it goes to the mind. He processes it in the mind. And then from the mind, it goes to the emotion, and then to the heart. So if you want to know the way it happens for the man, he has to see something first. It starts with what he sees or hears. It starts with physical, something physical. Then he has to allow himself to process it and think about it, to admit it, accept it or not. Then once he accepts it in his mind, it creates feelings for him, feelings, emotions. And after that, if he really holding on to it, he can allow it to go to his heart. Then that's when he cannot control it anymore. That's when we say he falls in love. Okay, Pastor Chris Ogedengbe said it is too traumatic for the woman when the woman hears about the unfaithfulness of the man, and that it's like our whole head is rolling. Well, that is why I'm showing you this picture. Women must understand what love making is to the man. If I think, I don't know, Pastor or Mrs. Shorunke, you tell us. I am trying to explain to the woman so that they don't suffer too much. I'm sure it will still be painful to them. It doesn't have the man that is unfaithful or the man that gets involved with sexually, it doesn't mean that they have denied them their wives. That is difficult to understand for the woman, I know. But it doesn't mean that he has denied the hour. It might not even have anything to do with the woman. I don't know. No, Mrs. Shorun, because you have to help me out here. People are saying, but the woman is suffering. She might suffer, but is there any way to let the woman know that it doesn't have anything to do with her? Okay, some women are saying, okay, because I'm ugly. It's not about your own ugly or you are beautiful. It doesn't have anything to do with you. It's all about its own problem. It has to do with him.
Well, the reason why it's a little bit different.
Can I help the woman to know that this line, can they remember this, that men are separate like this? I just want them to think, not about the way they are, but at least in their head, to know that this thing is happening to the man here in the body, and that he is not taking it to his heart or to his, at least if he's coming back, he's not. And he's not thinking about the woman, that the woman is ugly, I don't love her or something. No, he might be loving, you know that woman, man, this is one woman should know also. Man can be sleeping with women and doesn't even love them at all. But he will be loving another woman at that same time. Do you know that a man, I've seen men in my own church, in my own experience, who are engaged to another wife, engaged. And because they love the woman so much, they are not sleeping with her, they are not touching her. Because of the engagement, because they love her. I want to keep her holy and keep her pure. But to release himself, he's sleeping with other women. So when the woman that is engaged to got to know about that, he threw her away. She threw him away. She threw him away, saying, you don't love me. But he is saying, it's because I love you. that I didn't want to tempt you, I didn't want to make you do sin. But these two things, I don't even remember the girl's name. I just needed to get rid of myself. So is there any way, I know it's difficult for the woman to understand this, but is there any way to help the woman? Is there any way I could explain other than this photograph? That is what happened in his body. He has the right. Man doesn't have to connect that to the emotions, to the other. If he connects it, it's because he wants that to be connected. But it doesn't automatically connect. Is there any way I could explain that to the woman? Or it's not possible?
You know, to be honest, this is like some new information to us women.
Okay.
Yeah. And
so it's a shocking information.
It's a shocking, and just like you had shown, you know, the circle and all the emotions and everything is all one. It's gonna take a little bit, because there's so many things that need to be overcome for a woman that's been hurt by a man. I've lived through this through my mother. I think it was just her accepting Jesus that delivered her from hurt. But it's so painful that even if you are trying to explain it, you see that circle, it has to go, the message has to be carried round and round and round. That means that a woman has to work on it a little bit at a time. But the first thing has been done, and that is to explain the nature of a man. Most of this information, maybe 5% of this information is, since you've been teaching, is what now I probably knew. But now I know more about the natural nature of a man. So these women is going to take time, and then some of us women are going to have to take this message upon ourselves, go through it again, and bring it out as a woman-to-woman talk. I don't think that you can, being a man, deliver that message without us trying to fight and, really, bounce it all over the place. But we women that may be counselors or pastors or whatever, take this message, sit down again, go through the message. This is where the Holy Spirit comes in now. Let the Holy Spirit tell us what the Father is saying about this message to us and be able to deliver that message to the woman. I feel that way she can sort of gently understand and accept that this is the issue. Not the fact that they are not beautiful, they are not up to standard or so on, but it's actually much, much deeper. And they didn't know. This is the first time that they are hearing this. So I think that's what needs to happen. That we women take this upon ourselves to go over it, to be prepared to minister to women in a way that they can just accept the message. I'm thinking maybe they see what you're saying, but to accept it through all that pain, it needs a lot of time and a lot of interpretation by another woman that God has, that has done her homework, and then God has blessed that delivery to another woman. But the first job is taken care of. It is out there right now. So that's the first thing. Then the rest of us need to take it now, go over it, and be able to deliver it to those that really need to be healed, amended. And the ladies that have not been married, this is the time for us as women to get this message out to them so they can begin to ask questions, so that they can begin to take positions of value of who they are. No matter what men may say, they know who they are, they know why they are keeping themselves, and they're also teaching those men that, not all women are just willing to just give up, because they know who they are, and they know the consequences of giving in.
So if the woman would never be able to process that, if that's difficult for women to process, it means she would never be able to forgive them.
I'm not too sure. I'm saying that for me, I think it's the word accepting that is it. I don't think it's like they can't see it. It's just like could it be that's why I got all this hurt? Is because that's the nature of man, and I didn't know it, and I became a victim of that which I didn't know. And that's why I was saying that God already said that his children perish due to lack of knowledge. So knowledge has come now.
Okay.
Knowledge has come for us so that we can let others be knowledgeable about it. So it's just the acceptance. I feel I don't think it's that the woman doesn't see. I see it, but if I had been hurt left and right, I'm telling you, I would have a hard time trying to accept. I mean, this is why I'm having this misery. This is why I'm having this high blood pressure. This is why I'm having, because I didn't know, I didn't understand this. It would take that little battle here and there, but you can see it. You can see it. It's just with time and with, people being able to communicate it over and over. I feel that some women will really get there. They will get delivered and they will get there. But right now it's a matter of hurt. It's a matter of how do I get over this pain? And that's why I say, what is the church part in this? And I just read one sister say, yes, that is great to tell the church. But many a times the church is the one that actually adds more fire to the situation. Why? Because they are not prepared to handle these kinds of situations. So we need to involve the church in how to address these situations and handle them.
So women who have not been hurt by men, it's easier for them to forgive or to understand this than the women that have been hurt?
Yeah, because you don't feel like you've been a victim. You haven't experienced. The only way that you know about the pain is from, you hear from other women who want to tell you that that's their pain. And I'm seeing it more on your platform. I've seen it more on your platform, Women's Hurt, than I have sitting down one-on-one with women. So
because this platform allows them to open up. That's why you see them.
That's why I'm seeing
it's
it.
It's not that they're not out there.
Yes.
Only they're not talking about it.
They're not talking about it. So when I see that hurt, it's not something that you can just get a cloth and just, okay, let's clean that. You've shown us already all, the way we are made. We are, everything for us is all together. So it's going to actually take this knowledge that they have received and God working through it.
So does a woman have to think that she's to blame? She's not beautiful?
By itself, let's not even involve men. Let's take men out of the picture. We, from a little age up, we already started doing competition with each other. Oh, look at the color of her hair. Oh, look at her dress. She thinks that she's the finest. You see, we already have, without the men, we already have competition with ourselves going on. Without even the men even being involved. So now when the men are involved, then it's like, because she has orange hair and my hair is still black, because she has her eyebrows like this and mine is still natural, okay, me too, I'm going to do that. So the attitude of that has been something that is taken, even without the men, that has grown into when they become married or when they are finding boyfriends. The competition's been there in the first place. So it'd be very difficult to convince a woman that it's because, you are pretty.
It doesn't have anything to do with that.
It would be very difficult.
Okay, but this competition you are talking about, that is there among women. But what about if the woman already got her own husband? Does she still look at another woman that she's better than you and better than her?
Some women do. They may see a lady that dressed up really lovely and beautiful, and they see that, like you said, they see their husband's eyes following her. They'll just say, because she wore something, that's why, So it's still there. Those attitudes are still there.
So women also need deliverance.
It's still there. You see, that's another issue on its own. That's why it makes it difficult. It would be difficult to convince a woman that it's not because the other woman is not as beautiful as you. It will be difficult to convince her that she's not less beautiful or less.
But frankly speaking, it doesn't have anything to do with her.
You see, that's what I'm just learning right now. You know what you're talking about? We're just learning that. Wait a minute, it's actually the nature of man. It really doesn't even have anything to
So why
really
should you
do.
put it on our own head?
Exactly. That's the light that's being brought forth right now. That is the light that you are bringing forth.
Have you not seen women who are misword in Hollywood? Their husbands are sleeping around anyway with women who are not even close.
Yes.
Okay, look at the wife of Schwarzenegger.
Yes.
You know, beautiful, misword, all that, but the man slept with the house lady, the housemaid.
Yes.
It's not because it's bad though. It's just because they just needed to release the thing that time.
And you see, she could
And it's not because he
easily.
doesn't like the wife or doesn't
Yes,
love the wife,
yes.
but the woman left him because he thought that he had abused her, he had or humiliated her or something.
Yes.
But he doesn't even have any. And the man said, "Don't have anything to do with you. I love you."
That's news.
What is news?
The fact that it's not the woman's fault. That's news. Oh yeah. That's new because you said lady's beautiful, and then the husband sleeps with the housewife that's not as beautiful. Well, the woman, okay, let's talk about beauty. The woman will say, okay, it's not the beauty. It's because she knows how to make the bed. It's because she knows how to cook better than me. It's because so she will find something that a reason why there will be something better in that person. That's what the husband saw.
No, he
That's
doesn't
not.
look for anything better.
But she doesn't know. That's why I said this is light. This is knowledge. If women can now know that, you know what? It's not your fault.
How can she
That's
think it's her
freedom.
fault?
It's not your fault.
Hey, women are just putting themselves in trouble for something.
Yeah, because this knowledge didn't come to the front.
But every man knows this now.
But the men are not talking. You see the men say thank you.
Men know it's not the fault of the woman.
You see, but the woman doesn't know that. She doesn't know that. This is light. If the woman doesn't have to blame herself, if the woman knows that I am a valued person, and that's not the reason why. It is the women that know that they are valued that says, you know what, even if my husband does it, I will forgive him. Because those women are confident and they know their value. But most women, it's an issue.
Okay, they are writing now and say that women feel that she has failed somehow.
Yes.
So we are just learning this now that men is just for him, it's just his libido.
Yes. It's men's nature. And what I like about this platform is that I'm seeing the men agreeing. I said, that is the way we just can't tell you. How are we going to tell you that this is our nature? You will just tell us, that kind of thing. So they are happy that you've come forth and brought it to light. And so they're going to be receiving deliverance.
The women are saying, this is light, oh, this is knowledge.
Yes.
What do you say to that, doctor?
Well, a few days ago, you had some people on this platform. I think they are from London, and they are bringing one issue to light, which is the fact that some women in our culture now, they are now looking at marriage and they want to clean the husband out so they can own the house because they know the court is going to award them everything. But they think they will be happy because, well, I don't really need you here. I just need your money. I need you to support me and things. I've actually, in my profession as a dentist, true story, I've actually had women come to me to spend thousands of dollars because they think the man is cheating on them because they didn't have space between their teeth.
No, you are not serious. Are you serious, sir?
Dr. Elijah, I'm telling you the truth, the God truth. They will spend thousands of dollars with me to create space between their two front teeth because they think that the lady that the husband is cheating with is because they have space. And I have to counsel them. In fact, I turned my office into a counseling spot at one time. I will still give them what they want. Then I will give them some ideas.
She will go and create.
They will create a space.
In between the teeth.
Because they think that's what the other lady has that they don't have. I've had a lady come to me at one time and said, Doctor, I'm just distraught. I was like, why? She said, I think my husband is cheating on me on a slender lady. And I look at her. She's just like Panla. I was like,
she herself is slender.
She's very thin. She said, I have to lose 20 pounds. I was like, no, you're okay. She said, no. I think So it boils down to the issue that my wife was talking about. That
She was thinking she has to lose
she
more
has
weight.
to lose more weight. And she will ride back to my office sweating. So one day I told her, I said, please, when you are coming to my office, bring some perfume. Because by the time you get here, your whole body odor is all over the place. She said, I'm trying to lose weight. I'm trying to lose weight. I have to lose weight because my husband is not sleeping with me anymore. I was like, your husband is going through some traumatic situation right now. The guy just lost his job. He's looking for another job. You now think that that's why he's not sleeping with you. I said, when you get home, just sit down and talk to him, understand him, let him feel like he's still your champion. You'll see that it has nothing to do with your weight. And she's like, Doc, are you serious? I said, go and try it. And she came back and said, thank you very much. Oh, that was the situation. The man is thinking, oh my God, my family is going to be homeless. You are thinking, oh, that's why he's not sleeping with me. It's because I'm not thin enough, because I'm not tall enough, because I don't have space between my teeth. I've had people that came to me and said, put 2 gold crowns in my front teeth. Because
Put what?
gold crown. That their teeth is
What would that
white.
do for them?
Because they think that the husband is sleeping with another lady that has gold tooth. And when you find out at the bottom of it, it's not that the man is
The
sleeping.
man doesn't even know how, he doesn't even remember that that woman has open teeth or gold teeth. The man doesn't even remember the teeth of the woman. The man is not even remembering the teeth of the woman. No.
So it's kind of
Either he's golden or he's having space.
It's kind of
He's thinking
interesting.
libido. He's thinking about releasing himself.
That is so true.
And when that woman comes back home with the open teeth, he will get annoyed at her. He will get irritated. Why should you go and spoil yourself like this? That's what he will say to her. And she will be shocked even the more. That, you don't like it? He will say, I don't like it. Because that's not what he saw.
Well, it's
And if he's still with you in the house, it means it is you he has chosen. So even though he's gone to that woman with open teeth, and he maybe has slept with the woman with the open teeth, but if he's still coming to the house, you are the one he still prefers. So if you now go and make your teeth open, he will get really irritated. So women shouldn't be thinking that they are to blame if a man messes up. It is his own responsibility, it's his own decision, and it's his own failure. And you should allow him to face his own subject, his own problem. Don't think you could help him to because of you have to change yourself. He has to change himself, not you have to change yourself. And of course, the women are attracted by what they see. They are more, inclined to physical beauty. The most you could do, try to look after yourself the way you were before when they married you. Just be. But even if you are married, even if you are Miss World, you cannot keep yourself. Or you get married, you get pregnant, you give birth, you do this, you do that. So there is no way for you to compete. Don't compete on that level. Compete on the level. For example, I will never leave my wife. I will never leave her. Even though she will get fat or she will get slim or she will get old, I don't care. I will never leave her because of who she is. It's not the body anymore for the wife. The wife, you have to have something inside of you. And that's what you saw in the beginning, not just the body. So a wife should rather develop herself, her own personality. It is that personality that makes a man to stay with you, not just the body alone, because the body will change. And the body, they see body every time, every day. They see different body. So if a man is going to be going after bodies alone, he will just be going every day to another body. So, but the reason he's staying with the wife is because there is some values in that man, in that wife. And that's why he's not allowing the thought to go to the soul and to the emotions and to the heart and to the mind. So he's keeping the mind on the wife. So what should we call this message? I don't even know. I called it something different before, but now I didn't even get to the one I wanted to do. I think maybe sexuality or understanding what does sex mean to the man and to the woman, or what?
I think that's a better topic.
It's a better topic, eh? What sex means to the man and to the woman?
Yes.
Okay, it's a better topic than.
Better topic.
Yeah, because it's more about with sex we spoke about today. Oh, somebody just said here, content not container. For the woman, they should know that beauty will attract the man to them, but it is character that keep the man with them. Very good. It is the character of the lady that will keep the man with her, not the beauty. The beauty only attracts him to her. Okay, so what should we call this thing?
Why men cheat?
Why do men cheat? Is it about cheating we spoke about mainly today? Eh?
No, cheating. Just sex.
Sex, it's more sex, yeah. It's more
of sex, not cheating.
All right, thank you so much. I will change the topic to what sex means to the man and what sex means to the woman. All right, have a wonderful day, everybody. It was nice being with you today. We have spent 2 hours today, over 2 hours, I think.
2 points up.
Yeah, 2 hours today for this message. I think it was worth it. Thank you. God bless. Bye.